Good morning, students. So this is lecture 6 of chapter number 1, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe, class 10, subject history. So we have studied a lot about this chapter in the previous few lectures, and we have discussed about this chapter in few of the series. Now in this particular lecture, we are going to discuss a very small series of this chapter, which is Visualizing the Nation. So it is a quite small series in the entire chapter, but it carries a lot of value in the chapter as entirely because it has created a name, a significant to Europe as a whole. So basically in this particular series, we are going to discuss about the topics which is allegory. Firstly, we will discuss about what does allegory mean. Because it is all about in this series it is all about allegory only, and then we will discuss about allegory of France, allegory of Germany, and the homework solution that I have given in the previous chapter. So we are starting with the lecture now. So before starting with allegory, I have just given you about the details of what does nationalism mean. So nationalism is basically a feeling of belongingness and a patriotic feeling that came in the heart of people who are living in that particular continent or in that particular country, to feel that they belong to that particular nation. So that touch, that basically that idea of being with that particular nation is itself nationalism. So as nationalism, allegory, you can relate to it in some of the way. So what does it mean? Basically it is when an abstract idea, you can take any example from it, like greed, envy, freedom, liberty. So these are few of the feelings which liberty, so it is kind of expressed through a person or thing. It is known as allegory. So any feeling that any feeling or any idea that is there in your head about something, and you want to express through some person or thing, that is allegory. And an allegorical story has two meanings. One could be a literal one, which you can write or which you can say, and one can be symbolic, which you can see, you can patriot yourself, you can symbolize yourself in a particular person or in a particular thing. So that is allegory. So in allegory basically came in the heart of Europe. How? So while it is very easy enough to represent a ruler through a portrait or a statue, so we can easily say that about a ruler. You can make a picture of it, you can portray a picture of it, or you can make a statue of it. But how can you portray nationalism in a particular country? How you can portray that? How you can portray that nationalism idea? How can you express that through some literal words or some symbolic things? How can you portray that? So basically it is all about that. So how does one go about giving a face to a nation? How can you give a face to a nation? Like in India, we are taking example of India. We call India as Bharat Mata. We have given that pride and right to her to express our nation as Bharat Mata. So we are giving her given Bharat as a feminine characteristic. We are giving India as a feminine characteristic to visualize it as a goddess. So likewise in Europe also there were certain things that happened, and they have visualized it, the nation, to give her a character, to give her a symbolize in a female character. So it was the artisans at that point of time in 18th and 19th centuries, they found a way of to personify a nation. To personify means to give a name, give a symbol to a nation, to visualize it so that we can respect our nation more and more after this. So in other words, they want to represent their country as it is a person. Like we say India as Bharat Mata, they also want to give they want to also represent their own country as a person. So nations were then portrayed as female figure. So they also started thinking to portray their own nation as female figures. So they also created certain characters, certain female forms that was chosen to personify the nation, did not stand for any particular woman in real life, but it is rather it sought to give that abstract idea of the nation to a concrete form. So basically there is no female around them that they can example in real life, that they can give that respect to it, but they are idealizing that idea, that they are giving their nation a name itself to their nation, so that they can respect it even more. They can portray, visualize their nation as a respectful and very authentical, in a very authentical way. So that is why the female figure became an allegory of the nation. So here in Europe, in many parts of the Europe, the allegory here become the female figure, that became an allegory of the nation there. So the female figure become the allegory of that nation, the female figure idea that they have expressed to a person or thing, that was the allegory of that nation. So if we recall that during the French Revolution, there was an artist, they have used a female allegory to portray ideas such as liberty, justice and the republic. So when we recall about French Revolution, to visualize the things, they draw paintings. They draw various paintings about female figures, about liberty, justice and republic. So the idea came about this nationalism came from that portraits only. So the portraits that depict about liberty, justice and republic, these ideals were represented through some specific object or symbols. So basically how you can represent these things, so you can represent these things through some liberty, justice or some ideological things. So as you could remember it for as long possible as you can. So as we have taken the example of India, we call Bharat Mata. Why? Because we are taking her as to be a liberal, united and a diverse symbol that we have given to India. Basically we call it Bharat Mata. So that's why they also want to idealize these thoughts, and they want to represent it through some objects or symbols. And if you remember, the attributes of the liberty are the red cap, the broken chain, while justice is generally a blindfolded woman carrying a pair of weighting scales. So when you go to some court, you see that there is one woman that is there, that is blindfolded, and there's a statue of her which is having the weight scales in her hand. So that is what a justice system, liberty system, they have given a symbol or to that particular thing. So they have given a woman a blindfolded thing, and they have given the scales. So that is what the liberty has to be given in Europe also. So the attribution of liberty at that time was she has worn a red cape, and she's having a broken chain, while justice is generally a blindfolded woman carrying a pair of weighting scales. So that is how they have symbolized their justice and liberty symbols. Similarly, when we talk about visualizing nation in different allegory, so there is difference in allegory of France and difference in allegory of Germany. So similar female allegories were invented by artists in the 19th century to represent the nation. So they have invented these, basically they were not real characteristics, they have idealized it. They have invented by artisans in the 19th century to represent the nation by allegory, female figures. So in France, she was Christine Marianne. She was a popular Christian name which underlined the idea of the people's nation. So the allegory of France here was Christine Marianne. She was, her characteristics were drawn from the idea of liberty and republic, and she's shown wearing a red Parisian cap and a cockade holding a French tricolor. So they have symbolized the allegory of France. How? So they have taken, and the allegory of France was taken from Christine Marane, and her characteristics were drawn from the idea of liberty and republic, and she is shown wearing the Paragon cap and a cockade for holding the French tricolor. So I will show you her picture also, how she looks like. Then her characteristics were basically three things: the red cape, the tricolor, and the cockade. And the statues of this Marine was erected in public squares to remind the public about the national symbol of unity and to pursue them to identify with it. So it is there in many places in France to tell people about basically to tell people about the national symbol of unity and to pursue them to identify it by that only. So like in India, we worship the tricolor, we worship the entire country with this patriotic songs that came up. Then we visualize it by the tricolor, our own flag. Then there is also some major symbols which we take it as a nationalism feeling from it in India also. Likewise in Europe, the symbol that became their unity was this allegory of France, which is the statue of a woman who was wearing this red cap, and they have given it the tricolor of France, so that the unity of France should be maintained at that period. Similarly, in Germany, the allegory of Germany came with Germania. What is Germania was also a female character, so she is also shown. She was wearing an armor and holding an imperial sword. Sword means talwar, and she is portrayed having a long flowing reddish hair, wearing a crown of oak and leaves as oak, and stands as for heroism. So basically here Germania was become the allegory of the German nation here, and in visual representation she was wearing a crown of oak leaves, and the German's oak stands for heroism. So heroism means here the main lead of to unite a particular country. So they have taken her as a symbol of unity in their own countries. So this was about the visualizing of the nation in the allegory of France and in the allegory of Germany. I will show you the pictures also. So was the one for the allegory of France. So she is having that flag of France, and she is wearing that red cape in holding it up. Then the cockade is also there. You can see the red cape, the flag, the tricolor she's having in her hand. So this was the allegory of France, and she was the allegory of Germany. She was having a sword in her hand, and then she was wearing a crown of oak leaves. And it will also stand for heroism at that point of time. So this is all about visualization in the nation. Now the homework solution that I have given you was about question number 2, that what steps did the French revolutionaries take to create a sense of collective identity among the French people. So here we are going to discuss about the French revolutionaries who have taken certain steps to collective identity among the French people. So here the French revolutionaries took many important steps to create a sense of collective identity among the French people, which were firstly the ideas of La Patrie. La Patrie basically means the fatherland, and Les Citoyens, which means the citizens. So the idea of the fatherland and the citizenship emphasizes the notion of a united community enjoying equal rights under a constitution. So the idea of this fatherland and the citizen emphasizes the notion of a united community, which is they enjoying equal rights under a constitution. And then a new French flag, a tricolor that has replaced the royal standard. So a new French flag was also introduced, which was a tricolor that replaced the royal standard. Then there was an state journal was renamed the National Assembly and was elected by a group of active citizens. So they established a state journal who was renamed the National Assembly and was elected by a group of active citizens in France. Then new hymns were created, oaths were created, martyrs were created on the commemorated in the name of the nation, and a central administrative system made uniform laws for the entire nation. So there was a central administrative system that made uniform laws for the entire nation, and discouraging regional dialects and promoting French as a common language of the nation. So they were discouraging regional dialects that were there in the past of the French at that point of time. There were many dialects, there were many diverse cultures that were forming, but they promoted French as a common language of the nation. Now question number 4. Briefly trace the process of German unification. So in the previous lecture we have discussed about German unification. So in the 18th century, the nationalist feeling was strong in the hearts of the middle class Germans. So I have told you about the middle class Germans that were there, who have created this nationalist feeling in the people of Europe and in the other parts of the continent as well. So they united in 1848 to create a nation state out of the numerous German states. So in 1848 they create a nation state out of numerous German states, but the monarchy and the military got together to repress them, and they gained support from the landowners of the Prussia too. So when they started to rebel after this conservative system, the monarchy and the militaries also came together to suppress this community, and they also gained support from the landowners of Prussia, and Prussia soon became the leader of the German unification movement. So after this, Prussia became the leader of the German unification movement, and its chief minister was Otto von Bismarck, and was the architect of the process with support from Prussian army and the Prussian bureaucracy. So the chief minister who was there at that point of time was Otto von Bismarck, was the architect of the process with support from Prussian army and Prussian bureaucracy, and the unification process was completed after Prussia won wars with Austria. So there were 7 wars that held in Germany, and after the completing of the 7 wars, the Germany was unified, and the process was completed after the Prussia won wars with Austria, Denmark and France over 7 years time. And in January 1871, the Prussian king William I was proclaimed the German Empire in a ceremony held at Versailles. So that's it for the homework solution. Now the homework that I want to give you in this particular lecture is that you have to read the chapter carefully, and please try to solve the question number 3 and 5 and from Write and Brief given in your NCERT textbook on page number 28. And if you have any queries, if you are not able to understand anything, you can ask me in the student query section or in the comment section. Please do study at your home. It is quite necessary at this point of time. Lot of more cases are coming up. The life is also death rate is also increasing nowadays. So please be very careful with your health. Please stay at your home, study hard, and take care of your health and of your family as well. It is very necessary in this point of time, that you should be together as a united we should be united as a whole, so that we can overcome this problem as soon as possible. So please just take care of yourselves, and if you have any question you want to ask, you can ask me in the student inquiry section or the comment section. Thank you.